Yo, we're here again downtown in the heart of the city on beautiful Bank Street with Ottawa's very own singer-songwriter Jamie Fine. You know, make some noise, make some noise.
Oh, the three of us in here, I love it.
Quiet set, I guess. Very good. No, small set. Wrong wording. Big vibe, small set. Jamie, how are you doing?
Oh, buddy, I'm better now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in front of you, man.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good start. You know. I'm not hating her off the rip.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
Thank
not
God.
Pissing her off the rip. You know, it'll be like a long interview to go. So, Jamie, you just dropped another music video last week on Thursday the 21st. Hate Me, Love Me. Amazing, by the way. You also put a live performance on the very day before, on the 20th. Shit's been doing good. Like, those two projects, how do you feel?
I feel great, man. It's I think everything, you know, I've released a few solo singles now, and I think this one was kind of the one we were really excited for. Because it's a little less emotional than all my other music, but it still tells, you know, a story. But it's, you know, it's this other side of me that people aren't really used to seeing, which is a little bit more fun. And so we were pumped to put it out, and so far it's been getting like a great reaction. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I've been looking at it every like now and then, and like it feels like every time I look at it, like the last couple of days, so every couple times a day, it's like 10,000-15,000 more views.
Yeah,
like
it's
going
crazy.
Up there, you know?
It's a lot of people are supporting it, and it's
a beautiful video.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's fun.
it's
like
nice.
we wanted to have fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think with the live, we wanted to kind of show what the band could do and how we are live on stage. But with the music video, like we wanted to have fun, and the director did an incredible job at kind of like scoping out what that was gonna look like, and it was a lot of fun, like creating the concept with him, and then executing it was like
Just amazing.
oh, it was so fun, man.
Yeah, proper. So where was that video filmed? I noticed there was Ontario plate on the Cadillac that you were driving, which was fresh, Escalade, beautiful car. Was that here in Ottawa or like Ottawa area somewhere close? You know,
It was actually in Toronto.
Okay,
yeah, my labels, like the most of the people are there, and so it's kind of the easiest way to get a music video done, especially like with the houses and the cars that you can get. Like it's
more
just
rentals,
yeah,
properties,
it's just total, and like more of the actors are there.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, it was actually a lot of
The
fun.
hub. It's a hub.
It's a hub, exactly.
Yeah,
in Canada at least. So it was really cool. My girlfriend actually, she did all
I
this. She
noticed
did all
that.
the design for the fashion. So it was crazy.
I honestly noticed she was in one of the scenes as well. Yeah, at the end there. That's cool.
We literally did the party scene, and the director Alex was like, "We got to get everyone in this scene," and everyone was like, "Okay." Like my manager was in it.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people working on the set were like, "All right, let's party."
Let's
it was
turn
hilarious.
up. That's funny. That's sick. Who usually sets up your music videos? I guess you mentioned your label, so I guess your management team. Do you have any real say in it, or?
I have tons of saying. I'm really
Yeah.
lucky, man. I have a great label and an amazing team, and they know that I'm like a proper business person as well, and I like having control of not all of it, but I like having a say in my music and how that looks, because it especially nowadays, it's not just about the song. In fact, it's probably very little to do with the song. Now it has so much to do with everything that goes on around it. That I really want to create something that I'm proud of, and that doesn't just happen in the studio. It happens every day afterwards, and how you're going to market it. And my team is so supportive of letting me be part of that, from single covers to visuals to how we're going to market it in general on social media. It's great. I'm really thankful.
Okay, the energy is sick. Like that's a good vibe, you know. Speaking of the last of Hate Me, Love Me, did you choose Alex? Did you choose Alex to direct it, or was that your label?
He works with the label often.
Yeah,
so what he does is he outsources these really talented people who film and do lighting design and all that stuff, and set design. So Alex is like the hub of all kind of visuals, I think, at UMC.
Word.
And then
He's the
gets
man.
Yeah, like he's so talented. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
He's so fucking talented. I have to say that. There's no other way to describe him. And he's just really creative, but he's very malleable. So like, we went through a couple ideas, and every single one of them were gold. But I kind of was like, I remember we hopped on a call, and I was like, how about like this? And then he took it to like this completely other level that I never would have been capable of doing. So he's just great at kind of being really objective when it comes to like honing in on what everybody's say is and what they want. Working with him on set is one of the most incredible experiences because he's really professional. He's a lot of fun, and he gets the job done, like, most importantly.
So it was a smooth shoot.
Oh, man. I've never had a smooth shoot like this in my life.
Yeah, no hiccups. Well, there was at least like one hiccup.
Honestly, it's just with shooting stuff like this, it's a hurry up and wait industry in general, right? It's like you're waiting for, 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, everybody, let's go. And then it's like 10, 20, 30 minutes of shooting, and then you're waiting for another 2 hours. So it's just, it is what it is. Honestly, I can say I don't think that there were any hiccups. There might have been, but the most important part is that I wasn't aware of them. And that's the thing that you want to have as a crew, is that the artist isn't really aware of what's going on.
It's just smooth for the artist.
It's exactly what it is.
So I guess meeting those people, Alex P. Smith, all the other dudes from your label, people from your label, whatever, that changed your life and it's changed your career a lot, eh?
Hugely. I think this is it's an incredible team, as I said, and I'm really proud of it. From behind the scenes, I spent a lot of time taking a step back and really building a team that understood what I was trying to achieve. And labels are scary. Like, there's no way around it. Labels are terrifying. And I think a lot of artists should kind of be wary about having a little bit more of a business mentality before they commit to signing a contract. Every part of, my label, my management team, my band, everybody around me gets exactly what I'm trying to achieve, and they help me achieve it in like the most organic way possible. So yeah, for sure, it changed the trajectory of my career.
So who are you signed with?
I'm signed to Universal.
Oh,
so
proper.
I was with Big Machine in the States. And it just, like, no shade to Scott and everyone at that label. They were such like 10 out of 10 people. I think that coming off of like the show we did, the launch, it was kind of inevitable that we had to sign with them. I don't know if we would have made that decision, not because the people aren't incredible, but just because they didn't necessarily have the ground troops here to get like this demographic. They only kind of knew how to work the States at that point. So and for us being from Canada, there's so much work to do in Canada.
So
we're
much.
very proud to be from here. I am, at least. So
Everybody, you should be.
Yeah, it's an incredible country. And there's obviously that stigma in music, but I'm so happy to be from here that like there's a lot of work to do here, and then you can kind of project into other territories. They didn't know how to necessarily start here in our hub. And so when it came time to deciding, am I going to be independent? Am I going to sign with somebody else? I just kind of did the list of pros and cons that I think everybody should kind of do. And after sitting down with that team, it was genuinely the best decision I think I could have made.
When you came with Universal, did you find that they kind of understood your style, like music-wise, a lot better?
That's why I signed with them. That's the only reason why I signed with them.
Really?
You know what I mean? Because I'm 29 years old. You know what I mean? Like when I first entered this industry at 24 professionally or 23 professionally, I knew who I was. There's a lot of, kids coming in this industry at like 16, 17, 18, 19. You're still a kid at that point. And you still have a lot of growing to do. I kind of went through a lot up until that point. I learned a lot about myself, so I was a little bit better able to kind of be equipped in the industry. And when I was thrown into it, I'm very malleable because I like learning, but I'm not somebody who like takes well to being like, you should change. And I'm like, okay, then we should just not be friends. You know what I mean?
And that's what it was before, sort of?
I don't know if it was necessarily that intensely. Everyone's always been very... Here's the thing. I don't really know how else to say this, and it's not really coming from a place of ego, but I think I'm unforgivably me, and like I've always been unforgivably me. And I think people kind of pick up on that. So there might be a lot of people who are like, oh, I wish you like look different or dress different or this or that and the other. But then they kind of pick up on the authenticity and they're like, don't change.
Yeah,
and I live for that. I
guess people kind of do. So what you're saying is you've run into people thinking it's a facade a lot.
Of course.
Yeah?
And they're like, oh, like what is this? But then you see me on stage. The thing that I love most about me in this industry is that people don't get it. Like, bro, I'll hop on stage and people are like, who the fuck? And then I'll start performing with my band and people are like, oh my God, I get it. And I live for that because that's what we all do. Like even the most accepting people in the world, I consider myself outrageously accepting. 100% I judge books by their cover. And like it's something that we do. I try not to do it, but I know that that's something that's going to happen. If I'm well equipped to change people's minds, that's, in my opinion, the best asset you can have as an artist, because you're never going to please everyone, right? That's not the point in life, is to please everyone with anything that you do. But to be able to change people's minds and saying, at least I respect it, that's my goal in this industry. And so far, I think I've been able to achieve that in the small fraction that I'd like to. And that's the best feeling for me.
Proper.
Yeah,
Proper.
Says that.
So,
Life lessons with Jamie Fine.
Huge. Yo, tap in, take your notebook out. Take your notebook out.
I'm saving you thousands in therapy right now because I already spent it.
And tens of hours in headache.
Yeah, exactly.
Tens of thousands, sorry, of hours.
I was going to say tens of hours.
I read it. I played it back in my head, and I was like, nope, I forgot a couple zeros.
Oh my God.
Okay, so sorry.
Sorry. This is what podcasts are about, man. This is like trailing off and talking about something completely different. Yeah.
Fucking, But okay, so how would you describe your music genre? Your type, your vibe, as a whole.
You know what? I don't have a genre. I think the thing, I grew up with my dad, he's a beautiful piano player. And I grew up listening to like Over the Rainbow type stuff, and the Beatles like on piano. I didn't even know what the Beatles were, but then when I was a little older, I started hearing all the music and I realized my dad had played it for me this whole time.
Sorry,
no,
Beatles rock band that changed my life.
Bro, they're crazy.
I can list 100 Beatles songs, but we don't got time for that. So go on.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing is like you grow up listening to that kind of music and you're like, whoa, you kind of gain a different approach. Then when I was in like middle school, I started falling in love with hip hop. All I wanted to listen to was hip hop. On my MP3 player, like my first MP3 player throwback was like gray. Ugh, I miss that thing. And I only had like 16 songs and it was just Black Eyed Peas and Nickelback. Don't fucking judge me. I'm obsessed with Nickelback. And Nickelback. They're men songwriting, they're amazing. So I literally just listened to like, and then it was like I started getting into like J. Cole and like listening to like hip hop in a way that was like, holy shit, nobody tells a story right now like hip hop artists. And all of that was accumulated, to be able to kind of contribute to how I write. I pull storytelling from hip hop and sometimes the syncopation of how I'll do a verse from hip hop, and then I'll try to incorporate it in the production. I'll lean towards more of orchestral stuff and more real instrumentation like the Beatles. And I just was able to kind of pull from everything. The way I kind of describe my music is that I don't have limitations on it.
True.
Right? And like, I don't overthink things, especially because I'm a songwriter as well. And I like pitching, music for other people. I try to take the pressure off writing in terms of saying, here's the genre I want to write. I just want to write music. Sometimes I fall in love with it for my own project, and sometimes I want to give it to somebody else. But it's always kind of cohesive. There's always something in there that makes it cohesive to me,
Yeah, that just wraps it all together and really screams Jamie,
Yeah, and people know,
That's probably and in your music too, because sometimes you'll drop. I don't know how to exactly say it, but you'll sing some really long notes, whatever. Then the verse will come in and you'll kind of rap it a little bit.
Yeah, a little more spoken word.
Fade into it, but it all. If you're not paying attention, you don't really realize the different styles because it flows so well that you just think it's just the one vibe.
I hope so. I appreciate that. I come here for the compliments.
For the compliments. Hey, no, I'm just saying how it is. Like, I'm just another.
You're my freaking guy.
I'm an outlet of the people, I guess.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
That's so impressive.
I'm from
outlet of the people.
I am. I'm.
Holy.
I represent
you need to
Ontario,
Suburbia.
That's what I represent.
I freaking love you.
Okay. I don't know why, man. I love you too, Jamie.
Thanks so much, my darling.
So to me, for the most part, I feel your songs are like they're like, I understand, like they have a quicker tempo. The instrumentals are very upbeat and active, but the lyrics tell a story of heartache or hardship in a way that you most commonly hear it in like a slower song or acoustic song. Which to me, I find that such an amazing pair together that you flow, literally, truly making it your own. Like, it's crazy.
I appreciate you.
You know? Back in early 2018, you were on the CTV show The Launch. You had the opportunity to work with amazing music engineers and producers and songwriters. You being a songwriter yourself, how was the experience getting to learn and work with these extremely talented people such as Scott Burchetta, as well as Jennifer Netz and Ryan Tedder?
Yeah. Like, there, you know what? I think it was cool. It was more cool meeting people who were at a point in their career that we strive to, at that point we were striving to be at. I think when you look at somebody like Jennifer Nettles, she was like the most southern sweetheart in the entire world, and she was very nurturing and like telling us how to deal with everything. I think at that point in where we were at, Elijah and I were in the studio every day writing. For us, it wasn't. I'm not really one to get starstruck. I fangirl over professionalism more than stardom. You know what I mean? Like, when somebody's a professional and I'm like, I love the way you work, I'm like, how do I strive to be that, rather than like fangirling over the stardom of somebody. So Ryan Tedder, of course, is, he is one of the biggest touring bands in the world, and he's outrageously successful, and I can, compliment him for days in terms of his outward success. But the thing that's so incredible about him is that he writes tons of music that you didn't know he was writing, that you're listening to every day, and he works his ass off, and the way his brain works when it comes to writing.
He's a go type of guy,
crazy. And like his songwriting ability is insane. So for me, I think that was more like, I was more fascinated, and if I'm being honest, we didn't even remember there were cameras on. Like, that was a work day for us. You know what I mean? For us, the way we saw that, for me, the way I saw that was that we were going into this opportunity to work with Ryan Tedder, not we're about to film this, Canadian music television show, The Launch, So like, you know what I mean? So like, by the time we were in the studio, it was like, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, that was being filmed? Sick. Like, glad you got that, because it was sick.
But how are the cameras distant?
No. They're right there. But I'm
just
so
the
used
vibe,
to
you're
it.
just so locked in.
Totally. And we're making music. When I'm making music, I'm not focused on anything else. You know what I mean? And we're also like, I'm really comfortable in front of a camera, because like I'm just gonna be me. Like, take me or leave me, hate me, love me. Like, I am me.
True.
So like,
proper.
So like, I don't really care. When there were cameras on, that's the thing, is that we made it really clear before we went on the launch that we will not be inauthentic. We will not be, or I guess the best way to say it is, we're not going to do shit we don't want to do. We're going to write a fucking song that we're going to be proud to release, not that you're going to be proud for us to release. And we're going to do our thing. And that's when when it came time to being in the studio with him, it was like, we see this going like a little differently. And we weren't not going to say that, because I would never put something out in the world that I'm not proud of. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot. And I felt like it kind of motivated me to keep pushing to where I want to go, especially on the songwriting side of what I do.
So all your songs, they're very, well, not all your songs, but I get your songs for the most part, a lot of the vibes, like I said before, a little bit slower, or talk about, heartache or hardship, on the launch, your trial song, or I guess audition song, it was "Lean On" by Major Lazer and DJ Snake, which I found
banger.
it's banger, 100%, but I found that really weird because it's an extremely techno song.
I think what's funny about EDM music is that pretty much all of them are just really sad top lines over dance music. When you play any EDM song acoustically and slowed down by like 20 BPM, you want to cry. And like, that's across the board. Lean On is actually this very emotional song. And what we wanted to do, I think one of the ways that Elijah used to describe me is that people just kind of wanted to hear me sing. And what I love doing is I love taking something that makes people feel one thing and trying to make them feel something else with it. And when we used to do that, we used to perform that cover live as well for our live shows. And people would be like, different things. Like they'd be like, oh, this is making me feel different than in the like dancing at the club version that they would usually hear, right? And that's what we try. That's what I always wanted to do. I want to make people feel something with music, whether it's mine or somebody else's. You know?
And they you definitely feel the song when it's broken down like that. You feel it way more. And
Totally
you're like,
different
I didn't know this song would make me feel like this,
right?
You know? And it's
but
like,
I'm telling you, go home and listen to all your EDM music that you like, and just picture it with an acoustic guitar and slow down. Listen to the lyrics. The way I write, like for quite a bit of, quite a few house music like DJs now, and EDM DJs, and I literally always start the song off on an acoustic guitar and just write the top line.
So you write top lines for EDM?
Yeah,
really?
I love it.
Really? That's cool.
It.
So you do a whole bunch of shit.
I do so much, man. And
Damn.
I don't want to say so much. Not that sounded ego.
No,
I do so much. I'm huge.
You keep busy. You keep busy, and you go to different outlets. Like,
and that's what I like doing. I get bored. I get bored real easy, and like. For me, if I'm not passionate about something, I'm not going to work hard. But if I am passionate about it, you won't find anybody that's going to work harder than me. So for me, I like it's all cohesive. It's all music. It's all writing. But some stuff isn't just for me, right? Some stuff is getting in sessions with other artists who need help writing, or it's just top lining for people and pitching demos. Like I love all of it because it definitely keeps me busy.
Did all that stuff happen after you did the launch, or was that kind of had nothing to do with
That's how Eli and I started out, man. Like we started out wanting to write we didn't even want to be an artist. I had no interest in being an artist yet. I had a feeling that I was gonna be at some point, but I didn't feel I was ready at that point. Actually, when we kind of got, pun intended, launched into it, brutes. I just wasn't. I don't think I was emotionally ready to get thrown into the industry. So when we first started, writing, and what my dream was to write music for the greats. We wanted to write music and pitch them as demos. And it's still, I lost sight of that for a few years because I was so busy being an artist, that it's almost like I forgot how much it fed my soul, you know? Like, I don't know. It sounds corny, but like there's no other way to put it. That just fed my soul. So, the last couple of years I took that step back to completely walk away from being an artist, knowing that, when I was ready to be, I would be again, and just wrote music for people. And it felt really good.
It's nice to you get into your zone and blah, blah,
Friggin'
blah.
Right.
Friggin'
right.
Going back to the launch, how did you even end up on the show? Because it was you got in the first season. So I imagine you knew about it prior to everybody.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I don't know if I can say we did confidently. I that's my inkling. But my manager at the time, he kind of had an in with somebody. Long story short,
TPV Network.
Not really. I don't even remember kind of who it was, but basically, we all sat down, Elijah, myself, and him, and we kind of were trying to figure out like what's next. Like, what are we gonna do? Because we had put out, a couple songs. Just Elijah was Jamie Fine, and the music was being reacted to so well and so positively that we were like, I think we can do something really special here. And we were like, hey, we have to have a plan. Like, we can't just be putting out music forever. Like, we have to have a plan. And he had approached me with us, I guess I should say, with the launch. And I had said no. We all kind of said no. And they kept coming back, and it was like, I can't really remember time frame. I don't remember if it was like 6 months or if it was just a couple, but it felt like friggin' 3 years that they kept on coming back, being like, you have to do it, you have to do it. And we were like, no. I never wanted to do the launch, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd been stoked.
No, I very much didn't want to do it. I felt that it wasn't the greatest decision. I don't really believe in skipping steps. I believe in like doing the work and getting where you want to go by like doing the work. Because I think that when people skip steps, you kind of have to like turn around and retrace them anyway. And at that point, you're at a weird part in your career where you're kind of doing it, but something's holding you back, and it's all those fucking steps you tried to skip. You know what I mean? So for me, it was not a great decision. But we did it. The long and the short of it is we did it. We negotiated a phenomenal deal, or the best deal we could have at that point. And we did it and learned lots, and like it obviously catapulted our career in a crazy trajectory. For the best, I don't know, but like it happened and we did it and we got to experience some really cool things.
And you're on a good, you're on a good road, like good path. So
I'm
sure
happy.
you're confident with everything.
I'm happy, yeah.
So Ottawa native, you're born and raised.
Obsessed with this place.
You know it. What were your interests as a kid? Like, was there anything from your early life that tied you into music?
Well, as I said, like my dad being a, piano player, I think I was surrounded by a lot of music. His side of the family was very musical. I had a couple cousins that actually like auditioned for like Canada's Got Canadian Idol. And I remember I was so young when it happened, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be like that. And my grandpa on that side, he was really musical as well. My mom's side is tone deaf completely, God bless them. No. But like you lose some, you lose some.
Guess you got lucky.
Yeah, well, I definitely got the gift from my dad's side, I think. And it honestly, man, I think that I grew up, it was a little bit of, not to get dark, but like it was a little bit of a rougher childhood. I was quite heavily bullied, and I think it was that age-old story of like I just turned to music because it was the thing that made me feel the least lonely. You know what I mean? And I think I'm a very emotional person. I'm not sensitive, but I'm very, very emotional. And I think the feeling of feeling okay from something made me want to be able to do that and give it to kind of other people. And so I just, to put it simply, I wanted to, do with my music what other people's music did for me. And I think I was in grade 7, and I think I sang like "Oh Canada" in the shower or something. Don't fucking judge me, but I still don't know the fucking lyrics to "Oh Canada." But I was
gonna say, I guess you sang it because you knew the lyrics.
Yeah, but like I think I was mumbling. I don't know. But I was in the shower and I was singing. I got out and I got dressed, and my dad was like, I think I was getting ready for school or something. And my dad was like, I think you can sing, kiddo. And I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, I think so. And I'm like, all right. And he started taking me to his friend's house who he played music with. And he had like a little setup at home, a recording studio, and I started like singing.
At what point of what point of your life was that? Like,
that was probably grade 7 is when I was told I could sing. And I realized like, oh, okay. And I did a couple like talent shows here and there, and I was like, I love this. And then grade 9 is when I started like actually writing music kind of, and like recording covers not professionally, but like semi-professionally to like get it down on a recording so I could hear it back.
But back then did you think you can seriously pursue it? Or was it like,
yeah.
Oh,
I remember
you were young when you really decided 100%. I can take this all the way.
I knew what I wanted to do in grade 7. I knew what I wanted to do in grade 7. I remember sitting with my 2 best friends at the time, Emily and Emily. And we was
coincidence,
Emily and Emily. We were sitting, and I was gonna say in Emily, but I can't remember which one. It's irrelevant because whatever. Yeah. But we were in one of the Emilys.
One of the Emilys.
Yeah, and we were just kids, right? We were a few kids, and I remember telling them like I want to write music for people. I want to be an artist, and they were like, okay, and like didn't know like what are they gonna say? Like you could do it. Like we were kids, and I guess like I think it was just such a powerful feeling of like I know what I want to do, and I've never strayed away from it.
From that feeling.
No, never.
So for a while you were pursuing culinary dreams as well, though. Was that just something you did after high school, or was that another passion that you had from a young age, or maybe younger age?
I always loved cooking. It's a really creative thing too, right? Like there were a lot of people in our program that could attest to having a lot of artists in it, because it's just another creative thing that's using kind of that same part of your brain. I think in grade 12, I knew that I wanted to do music, but when it came time to like picking like, secondary education, I had a lot of pressure to go to university from my family. And I knew to my core, it's just not what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like I knew that I didn't want to pursue something that academic, even though I think I could have. It didn't feed my soul, So I applied for universities to make everybody happy. And then I was like looking into music programs, but I'm lazy. I told you, if I'm not passionate about something, I'm the laziest person, So I was looking at all the like prerequisites, and it was like, you need to know like music theory. And I was like, fuck that. I do not want to learn how to read notes. I just want to sing. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm going to apply to culinary school because it's something else I'm passionate about. And I did that, as you know, with your sister in my program. Shout out Raven.
Shout out Ray.
Yeah.
Big sis, you know.
Yeah, I get it. And it was incredible. It allowed me to do both. It allowed me to do two things that I was incredibly passionate about it, but like not lose out on either one. You know what I mean? I had the time to do both. I had the drive to do both. So it was definitely the right decision to pursue, you know, culinary, and it's going to be definitely something I do forever. I'm going to cook forever, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
I guess everybody has to.
You'll be cooking nicer than the average Joe forever. Let's get it. Yeah. Your track Better Off, your third most popular song between yourself and Elijah Woods. After the launch song It Ain't Easy, and the other one, I Want You Back. I like Better Off a lot because it's such a turn-up song, and it's super uplifting and upbeat and strong. So, like, what type of headspace were you in when you wrote that?
Better Off was really funny. We had a friend in LA. She was like a friend, but she was an acquaintance, and she was telling us about a breakup she was going through. And I'm like, yo, fuck that guy. I got you. I'm going to write a song about it. And it was hilarious. Like, obviously, it was something that I could relate to, but it wasn't something that I was feeling in the moment. You know, I was in like a decent relationship at the time, and I was just kind of coasting. And it was literally like writing this song for her. And it ended up being this song that whenever I write music, I always picture how I'm going to perform it on stage. And I think Better Off for me was one of the first songs that, you know, we had written that I felt like, oh my God, this is our turn up song, as you say, on stage. And the first time I realized that was the case was we were in Winnipeg playing a show, and it was this huge show, and like the turnout was crazy. We have a cult following in Winnipeg. It's hilarious.
Cool.
Hilarious.
The Manitoba Dogs.
The Manitoba. There you go.
The Manitoba Dogs go hard.
Freaking right. Yeah. Shout out Manitoba Dogs. But like I think we got on stage, and we were so like Ain't Easy at that time was like our biggest song by far. And whenever we were asked to do like an encore or whatever, everyone always wanted us to do Ain't Easy. And in Winnipeg, it was our longest set to date. So really? It was like 60 minutes, and we were like, fuck, we don't have 60 minutes worth of music or so. It was like 75 minutes maybe. And we were like, hey, like we can't do like 15 minutes worth of covers. Like, what are we going to do? Yeah. So for the encore,
5 cover songs,
yeah,
like
exactly,
4 cover songs,
like just ambitious. So I'm lean on 7 different ways. So we like get off stage and we come back because they encored us, and I was just honest. Like I was like, y'all, Winnipeg, like you have 2 options. We can either sing Ain't Easy again, which we were certain they were gonna make us sing, or we can sing Better Off again, and they all chose Better Off.
Turned up, it was so lit,
and it was crazy. Like I've never like. We've never come closer. We had one mosh pit once at Ottawa U, but like this was like, it was just the most incredible energy in the room. When I tell you it was epic. And I think that's when I realized how big Better Off was and how kind of powerful the song was. Ain't Easy was a powerhouse of a hit. Better Off, I think, made people feel things. And that it did wonders for us because it gave us kind of a different, it was a catalyst for opening up a new door of like, we don't have to just stick with the pop stuff. We can do whatever the hell we want kind of thing. You know what I mean? And the fans would follow. So it was beautiful to kind of see with that track.
Damn. Well, fuck. And the funniest thing that I took away from what you said was, real for me, I almost asked if you wrote it for someone, but I was like, maybe not.
No, yeah. I wrote it for somebody else.
It's just so funny, you know? Like, as if that actually happened. But that makes sense. Like, if you're thinking about heartbreak, you can only tell so many stories.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
gotta find inspiration from, you know, which you can 100%.
Oh my God. Especially people you're close with, or like just
around,
if somebody tells you a story, like that's the thing, she was telling us a story, and
you can feel some sort of way and be like, and you're just in the studio and you're like, damn, like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's fucked. Like, that guy did her dirty.
That's
what
I'm saying.
Did her dirty.
And I was like, yo, I like you. I think you're a decent human being. Like, fuck this guy. And like, it was funny because she was telling us a story, and she's like, yeah, like I paid for his car, And I was like, oh my God, driving in a car that I paid for. And like, we put that in the song. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
thought you just put it in because it sounded cool. It
No.
sounds cool.
no, I'm
think
deeper
that's
than that.
I'm deeper than that. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Oh, yeah.
So in that video, so it's talking about going back to your culinary, I wouldn't say phase, but culinary side of you. Yeah, it's always going to be there, right? In that video, you and Elijah were seen as hospitality workers. Was that something that you wanted to be incorporated, or was that just like a coincidence?
I think it was neither. I think it was just convenient.
Really?
Because like, I think for me, I always kind of said like, I don't necessarily need to be in all the music videos. I think that there's more power, not more power. It's just sometimes there's more power in like having actors or somebody else to kind of tell the story that I'm singing. With Better Off, which was like a shit show in itself of a music video, but like, I think we wanted, because we have a great relationship with Nick Bateman, the lead actor in it, and you know, he's hugely successful, and we thought that, okay, this would be really cool to have you in a music video. We didn't want to take away from him by like being leads in our, you know what I mean? Like it was like we got an actor who's huge to be in it.
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh man, and like it was such a huge thing for us that we were like, why would we take away from him by being in it? So we wanted like little cameos.
Yeah.
And it was when we got the storyboard of what it was going to be, we just picked the two things that kind of made the most sense. You know what I mean? And we ended up being prominent at the end, but it was just, it made more sense to us to be kind of behind the scenes. I obviously had a chef jacket hanging in my closet, so I was like, yo, I'm saving on wardrobe budget. Let's go.
Boom.
And like, it was chill.
But there was more people wearing chef jackets still.
Yeah, my best friend, Zuni.
Okay.
He was in it too.
Enough,
Zuni, it's funny because Zuni, he's been my best friend since, I mean, we went to high school together, but he went to culinary school too. He's been my best friend forever, and there was a phase that he was in every single music video. Like he'd just have a cameo in everything.
Well, you gotta put your boys on.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That guy's my ride or die.
Doing big time shit. You gotta remember the little people that were there.
Friggin' right.
You know what I mean? So how was working with, I'm gonna butcher his name.
Shamlo Fayek, I got you.
Oh, I was gonna say Shamlo Feek.
Yeah.
So
I got you. Fayek.
I had Shamlo, but anyways, how was working with him? Honestly,
he is. Listen, I haven't spoken to him in years. He was an incredible creative. I'm sure he still is. I just haven't, unfortunately, kept up with what he's doing. But I think Elijah found him, and Elijah's the one who was like, because we shot our first music video, Wouldn't Be Enough. And we didn't have a crazy budget, and like we were just starting out. This was the first thing we were doing. Our manager invested in it. Our manager at the time invested in it. And Elijah found this guy and was like, yo, like his stuff is dope. And he showed it to me, and I'm like, oh my God, his stuff is dope. So we flew him out from Vancouver. He was just so good. In my opinion, his strength was post-editing, where he just had an eye for things that like nobody else had an eye for. And it was really cool seeing him bring everything to life, because I didn't have a concept of what that would look like yet. You know what I mean? And he absolutely crushed it. I'm sure he's doing absolutely huge things because he was always meant to be. But I would definitely say that kid's strength was always how he would put an idea together. I don't think anybody else in the world could have pulled it off the way he did, for sure. Damn. And he was young. He was a kid, you know?
Yeah, how old is he?
I don't remember. I don't even want to say an age because then he's going to come after me. So
Fair enough. I guess we shouldn't be asking the Govey questions, I guess. You know, like
professional.
Anyways, you and Elijah did amazing in the video. Extremely amazing. Staying at 1.3 million views currently, and that's literally just the music video, not the lyric video or the live performance. Definitely a popular one. Is that one of your favorites, or is it just happened to be?
Is it Better Off that has 1.3 million?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
Sick.
Yeah, Better Off is snapping.
You know what? I think Better Off Better, I think from what I remember, I could be butchering this and just completely lying to you, but I think from what I remember, Better Off got quite a bit of support in the States online as well, like on DSPs, or like streaming services like Apple Music, Spotify and stuff. I think that it got on quite a few playlists in the States. So it was kind of everybody trying to learn who Elijah and I were. With Ain't Easy, everyone knew that song. Nobody knew who the fuck we were. We could walk around and people would be like, oh, like, are you guys like artists? And we'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, do like I know anything? And we'd be like, you know that song? We'd sing Ain't Easy. They'd be like, that's fucking you. Like, nobody knew who the fuck we were. Everyone in Canada knew Ain't Easy. With Better Off, I think it was the first song where people kind of wanted to get to know who we were as people, and the brand, not just the music. And I think that's why probably a music video did pretty well. It helped. I'm going to say 75% of it was the fact that Nick Bateman was in the music video.
I wouldn't say 75, but
Thanks.
it did help. It did help.
You know what I mean? Like, he's so big that he put one Instagram story up and everybody went to go.
Oh, so
you know
he also promoted? Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Did. Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he's a
word.
huge... He's the one who found Elijah and I, actually, because he's from Toronto initially, and he was living in LA at the time. And I guess he heard Stoneheart, which was our second release, I believe, second or third release. And he I guess he was in the gym, like, listening to a playlist, and he heard Stoneheart, and he was like, who the fuck are these guys? So me and Eli, I think it was a video for Stoneheart, and we, like, went on our YouTube one day, and we saw a whole bunch of comments saying, like, who else is here from Nick Bateman? Who's here? And we were like, who the fuck is this guy? And we go to his Instagram, and we saw that he posted a story of Stoneheart and us. So that's why we got so many views on Stoneheart. And he just became like a genuine supporter of us. Like, he loved the music. He's such a down-to-earth dude.
Do you still rock with the guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
like,
hard.
Yeah,
cool.
he still supports. He's a huge supporter of Elijah. I know they work together. You know, they work together more closely than... But he's just such a supportive dude of both of us. And he... I think he might be back in Toronto now. I'm not sure if he's still in LA. But he just always was down to, like, promote the music, which really helped. So that probably Better Off was because of that.
Bateman's sick.
That's what I'm saying.
So you and Elijah seem to be a pretty good pair.
Mm-hmm.
You guys kill on scene for your videos as well as your live shows. How was performing at the iHeartRadio MMVA's Much Music Awards?
It was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
I think it was just different for me. I think, you know, you grew up watching that show, you know, and you're kind of like, oh, cool. And I remember when I was a kid watching, like, Danny Fernandez and Sean Desmond and Belly, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, I want to do that one day, especially knowing since grade 7 that I wanted to do this.
And did you ever be like, oh, I'm gonna be there one day, or was that just like...
I wanted to be. I don't know if I confidently said, like, I'm gonna do that. I think it was more like, I'm interested to see if I can get there.
Yeah,
you know,
like just like a...
Yeah, exactly. Like, shoot my shot, see if I miss.
My literal life motto is shoot for the stars and see how close you get.
Fucking right.
Literally, shoot for the stars and see how close you get.
Therapy with
knows?
Javon, like, Jesus.
Javon and Jamie.
There you go.
Let's
That's what I'm saying.
Where
We're starting a new pod. We're doing a branch off of this podcast to do therapy sessions with Javon and J&J.
And Big J is going on.
Yeah.
So, at the time when you played the awards, was that the biggest, like, show venue played, or was it the one that had the most hype around it?
You know what? It's a good question. I forget the, like, trajectory of everything. Like, I forget kind of how everything went. I would say that it was the most surreal show in terms of there was a crowd of people in front of us who knew every line to the song. And we also kind of had an inkling that we were going to be winning an award that night. And so I think the guttural reaction was, like, I had this, like, excitement of, like, okay, nobody's telling us for sure, but I think we're going to win the award after this performance. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, God bless it. And I was just pumped to, like, kind of, it wasn't to get through the song. It was just like, I wonder what's going to happen after this. You know what I mean? And it was the first award, right?
Did that not make anything more nerve-wracking?
No, I don't get nervous.
You don't get nervous?
Like, I don't know how I was born with this, but I just don't get nervous performing. I'm, like, the most me on stage.
There's probably about, like, millions of people envious of you.
I'm sure
of that, you know, characteristic.
I wish I had like tips, but, like, it's just
you.
Yeah, again, it's that whole, like, it's not that I don't care. Like, I hate when people say, like, I don't care. Like, of course I care. I care a lot. But again, like, people are going to hate me or love me. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be able to please everybody in the world with what I do. So, like, hope to God that there's a whole bunch of people in the crowd that do appreciate what I'm doing. And if not, then, like, I'm going to try to turn them. You know what I mean? And if I can't, I did the best I could. And so I think that takes away from the pressure. And I think the pressure is what makes people nervous on stage. I don't put any pressure on myself. I just have fun. And I hope to God the crowd's having just as much fun with me.
They rock with it.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you, I think you mentioned it earlier, that you and Elijah came together through the launch.
We met before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so how'd that go down?
Well, I was in culinary school, and he, my guitarist now, Matt, I was doing a bunch of music with Matt, and they were in the same program together. And at that point, I had graduated culinary school, was just working in the college, and I guess Elijah had heard my voice through Matt's iPhone speaker, and he was like, "Yo, let's get in the studio." And we got in we went in the Algonquin studio, and it was incredible. It was so much fun, and we made just really great music.
Yeah, so it's like a soup, like your friend just hooked it up, and
it just went from there.
From there, you just made some bomb ass music. Chefed it up in the other kitchen.
Exactly, he did a little bit of both, best of both worlds, buddy.
That's great. No, yeah. I was genuinely wondering that because I didn't know is he from Ottawa?
Perth.
So you've done and played a lot of events in the city, such as festivals as Blues Fest and the city venues such as Senators Games and Ottawa Dragon Boat Festival. Do you think we'll see that same consistency throughout, for the next couple of years? Or
I think so now, especially now that I'm doing my solo thing. I think I'm very proud to be from Ottawa, and performing in front of the city you grew up in. There's something really, really special about it. My first show back actually is August 13th. It's my first show like performing and solo.
Where is that?
It's Lansdowne.
Oh, proper.
And I'm really pumped. And it's I don't know if I could tell you that, but I'm telling you that anyway. It doesn't matter, whatever. But
you heard it here.
You heard it first.
You heard it here.
That's
first.
what I'm saying. You're getting the tea.
Ba, ba, ba.
You're getting the tea.
Ba, 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 ba.
I'm pumped. Like yo, can you intro me on stage? I'm having you in the back.
That's that Jamaican horn.
I'm dead. I got you. You're gonna be my head man on stage.
Only
in the sad songs too, like where everyone's crying and then you come on stage and like.
I have a hype man story, and you're not gonna want me to be your hype man. So listen, I was a hype man for one of Zach Diamond's first shows, and then the judges muted my mic.
I'm actually dead.
So.
Okay, maybe you're fired.
Yeah,
maybe you're fired.
My first hype man outlet, I got muted.
All right, sick. So, sorry to say.
I'll be there. I'll support. I'll be like, whoa,
yeah, there you go. As long as you're in the crowd supporting me, I'm good.
I'm hyping in the crowd. You can't mute my voice.
There you go. Exactly.
That's what I tell him. That's what I tell him.
I'm dead.
So what else do you have in store for the rest of the year? Or what do you have in store for us the summer, or even the year? Anything we should be expecting on? Any waiting on? Like you said, your show that's coming up in August. Do you have any other show dates? You're going on tour for anyone? Anything like that?
You know what, man? I'm really focused on putting out music. I think
lab. You're just in the lab.
Yeah, there's so much music ready to go, and I think for me, I'm really building something that I want to last. I don't want that TikTok peak and then fall off. You know what I mean? I'm trying to build something, where people are proud to buy the tickets to the shows, because that's what it comes down to, right? How many people can you get in front of you? Not just kind of scrolling through your videos on TikTok. I want it all.
You don't want to plateau. You're constantly elevating.
I don't want to hit my ceiling. I feel like I already did that with Elijah was like Jamie Fine. We hit our ceiling and there was nowhere else to go. That's why I stepped back from there and wanted to do my own thing. And I think right now I'm so focused on building something that things are just happening really organically. Shows are kind of creeping up in the most authentic ways. And people are reacting to the music really well. And that's what I want to see. I'm in no rush. I'm very patient, and I want to do things right rather than fast or quickly. So I think what you guys can expect is just more music that is authentically Jamie Fine. I want to tell a story, and I want people to feel something, and I want people to learn from my music, or at least just enjoy it. And I think you're hearing this first here too, actually. there's gonna be an EP in October.
Oh, proper.
So,
Do you have a title? You have a title?
Not yet.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first. You heard it here first.
I don't have a title for it yet.
Okay.
I think for me, once I'm headed to Toronto actually on Monday to meet with the label and get the track list sorted, and I think all those things happen pretty organically. Where like I'll get the track list done, and then I'll be like, this is what we're calling this. So that's happening in October, and then the new year we're kicking off the year like running, and we're doing so much music, and I'm so pumped.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited. It
You're my
sounds
freaking
great.
guy.
It sounds great. Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Jamie, for
You're my fucking guy.
Well, about some real shit. Thank you for coming down. It was great to fucking, get the interview out, talk to you, get the vibe out. This is it. And also, you motherfuckers heard it here first. That's what's up. The amazing Jamie Fine, fucking award-winning, launch-winning, crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, that's the greatest outro to a podcast I've ever. Award-winning, crazy shit.
It truly was another beautiful day on beautiful Bank Street. Thank you for watching. Thank Down to the Wire, Jacob and John and the rest of the gang.
Love you.